I want to speak some advice, some input, whatever you want to call it. And if you want to receive it, you are more than welcome to receive it, because I feel a lot could benefit from what I want to speak to and what I have to share here. The other day I was talking to somebody that I could feel in the tone of their voice, in the sense of my hearing, that they themselves didn't have a strong sense of self. I could sense that in myself, that this person doesn't have a very strong sense of self. And so they were coming to me and asking me for my wisdom and my advice, and I was very flattered. Thank you. Thank you for coming and seeking my wisdom and support. And so the conversation continued to, talking about self-care and really centering self. Taking the time out of your day, out of your life, okay, to center yourself, to center the self that is you, that you are responsible for centering. Okay, because in every single moment of every single situation, of every single day, it's going to be you. It's you. The first self that you experience is yourself. And you get bothered, you get irritated when other people even speak to you before you've had a chance to wake up, before you've had a chance to even center yourself. Okay? It's very important to be comfortable with self, with all aspects of self. Because, again, it's always going to be you. In every single situation, in every single feeling you have, in every single thought you have, in every single emotion you experience, it's going to be you. So I would like to share with you some things that I wrote about self. I do a lot of writing and journaling and reflecting on myself. I'm a disabled individual, so I have a lot of free time to just kind of get to know myself. And I also want to emphasize, when I say yourself and myself, I'm separating those words. It's not one word when I'm using them, okay? So it's not myself, it's my self. It's a self that I own, and it's mine. Okay? So these are kind of just like journal entries that I'm going to read to you. Yes, I truly desire to do the great inner work for a lifetime for myself, and not for anyone that's not promised to be permanent in my lifetime. I will always be with myself in this lifetime. That was promised upon the first muddled sounds I could hear in the womb. I can uphold that promise to myself. By not being responsible for keeping that promise to myself, I am effectively denying myself the entire full course, beautiful experience that others experience of the self that I've been granted. That I've been given full, indelible permission to say is mine. In every tomorrow, in every day, in every tomorrow I get to experience, I own this self. I own the suffering that comes along with being the successor of this self. I can be self-centered, but not centering the self that is mine to center. I cannot be present and be of right service to anyone that values me or that I value. If the self that I've been given the responsibility of keeping the promise of centering is broken, denied, or delayed, the love you have given me and the love I've given you will then become resentment and chaos. I can and will not feel guilty or shame for prioritizing the centering of the self that is mine to center. I want you to do the same. I can no longer abandon the self that is mine and the promise that must be kept to myself, for yourself. I want you to experience my centered self, and I want to experience your centered self. I want to experience how you keep your promise to center the self you've been granted, and how you uphold the responsibility of not abandoning the promise that is self. If you can feel the self that belongs to you isn't enough, I've found the breath will always be enough. Let's take a breath. Breathe with me. That was a lot of energy. That was a lot of emotion. That was a lot of intensity. Okay, and to continue on, there is no rush to do this. There is no rush. You have an entire lifetime. And what the mind is ready to face of self, you will become aware of it. You will become aware of it. Okay? There's no rush. There's no hurry. There is no rush to heal. There's no hurry to do the inner work. You will face, overcome, and heal what you are meant to when it needs to be healed. When your mind is ready to become aware of it. When your mind is ready, the traumatic experience that is in need of transformation for your growth will emerge from the subconscious mind and into your conscious mind. Resisting what the subconscious mind brings to the light of your conscious awareness is resisting what isn't meant to be permanent. You're wrestling with impermanence. Nothing is permanent. Nothing's permanent. I'm telling you, you will lose in every lifetime, if that's what you believe in. Resisting the laws of the universe. I'm telling you, you will lose in every lifetime, resisting the laws of the universe. That resistance is fear. Fear to be honest with yourself. Fear to be vulnerable with yourself. Fear to be seen by yourself. Fear to be celebrated by yourself. Fear to be loved by yourself. Fear to be heard by yourself. Fear to receive from yourself what you give others. Fear to be accepted by yourself. All of this, all of it, all of it, all stems from the guilt and shame you've experienced from just trying to learn how to be yourself. The fear of experiencing guilt and shame from attempting to have the courage to be curious and connect with the aforementioned traits of yourself is the reason why you'll always experience the same patterns with different people. The fear of experiencing change is greater than the desire to experience embracing change. I'm going to use a cliche metaphor here that you hear echoed a lot, okay? You cannot pour from an empty cup, okay? So here's the metaphor. Here's a meditation for you. A visualization, an imagination. Okay, imagine yourself as a chalice, a cup, okay? I personally like to imagine myself as a golden, ethereal chalice with jewels encrusted on it. And within me, in that reservoir of that cup contains this amazing golden, just, substance. It's delicious. Okay? Imagine everyone else, all the others, all the other versions of self as cups too. And they only get the overflow of your full chalice. Okay? They get the overflow. They get what is falling off the top of a full chalice of you. The full, recharged, centered, balanced, fed, rested, played with, heard, felt, accepted version of you. They don't get the main reservoir, okay? They don't get the pool, okay? They don't get to deplete that. They don't have access to that. That's yours. That's your reservoir to dip in, to bathe in yourself. They get the runoff. They get the excess of self that's available. You know, there's enough to go around when your cup is full. Self is other and other is self. The self does not exist, but you cannot serve others. You cannot serve the self. You cannot serve the other self that exists. Unless your cup is full. The quality that you're going to serve at when your cup is not full is going to be low quality. It's going to be terrible. It's going to be grumpy. It's going to be forgetful. It's going to be delayed. It's going to be delayed. There's going to be a lot of mistakes. There's going to be a lot of clumsiness. There's going to be the one important detail that you forgot. But you got all the other ones. Because you were panicking, you were hurrying, you were in a hurry, you were anticipating. Worrying. I want this to go this way. I want it to be just right. I want it to go smoothly. It's going to go how it's going to go. It's going to go how it's meant to. Instead of worrying how it's going to go, set the intention saying, I want it to go this way. I can make it go this way. It will go this way. There's a saying that hope is as hollow as fear. So hoping for something to go a certain way is just that's kind of a shaky, that's kind of a rickety, that's kind of an uncertain bridge to walk across, that hope. You gotta have certainty, you gotta have discernment, you gotta have knowing. No room for doubt. And you gotta have the courage. You gotta have the courage to act despite feeling and sensing uncertainty and doubt. That's the definition of courage. to take action despite feelings, thoughts, and emotions of doubt and uncertainty. If anything that I said here resonated with you, then check out the link that I'm going to put in the description of this video. Take care of yourself.